Good evening, everyone. While this presentation is specifically for our unmarried young adults, unmarried adults, and our teenagers, I believe it's for everyone because the lifestyle of purity goes beyond the single life. When I was asked to present this testimony or presentation, I thought about it and I wondered to myself, who am I really to present on this topic? And the reason why I say that is because a lifestyle of purity, it goes beyond just an act or the act. Purity begins in your thought life. And because we're all humans, at some point, our thought life is not where it should be. And so I want to begin there. In order to carry out a life of purity, we have to first capture every thought and ensure that those thoughts do not develop into desires that then leads to sin, to the act. If you remember, Jesus said to the men that were accusing the woman of being caught in the act, that if you even look at a woman lustfully, that you sinned. So purity is not just an act or the act. Purity comes from your thought life. It begins in your thought life. Verse 13, verses 13 and 14 of James chapter 1 says, "Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death." And so that's where I'm coming from in terms of purity and knowing that it's not just the end result, it's the thoughts, it's whether or not you allow those thoughts to linger and how long you allow those thoughts to linger, that it can then develop into something else. So, since we have that clear, I can share briefly how I've, in different times of my life, sought to maintain purity. So I know one of the things for me as a young person, spending 4 years away from home, away from any adults that could oversee my life at the time, was knowing that at some point I would have to see those adults. Knowing at some point that I had people in my life that would hold me accountable, people I couldn't lie to. So for me, that was my mother, my grandmother, my siblings, my pastor. Pastor and Sister Lee would check in on me while I was away at college from time to time. And of course, I would come home. So, I wanted, when I came home, that when they asked me how I did or how I was doing, that I could honestly say I'm doing well. And so those accountability partners would keep me on the straight and narrow. So this is not to say that I didn't see things in college or want to experience certain things in college because I saw everybody else around me doing it. But I have to give thanks to God that he kept me. And I think that firm foundation that was built before I even left helped me to stay on the straight and narrow, because trust me, I saw everything imaginable while in college, and roommates bringing in boyfriends while I'm in the room. Thankfully they weren't disrespectful enough to do anything inappropriate while I was there, but just about everything. People hopping from one partner to the next, and I'm talking about 17, 18, 19-year-olds, not full-blown adults. And in my adult life, one of the things that I do to maintain purity is to stay focused on work, my responsibilities at church, my responsibilities to my family. Busyness is not always great for our health, but Busyness is definitely great for keeping us pure and staying pure. Trust me, sometimes I'm so tired, the thoughts don't even have time to come and stick because I have so much going on and so much doing. So whether I'm doing something or I'm just tired and have to go to sleep, you know, the thoughts don't have time to linger. Additionally, just the diseases that are out there alone, just considering some of the things that are out there, you don't want to slip up and then that's your fate. And I think that's maybe fear that keeps me also on the straight and narrow. So those are obviously the practical ways to remain pure. But the spiritual way to remain pure is to submit to the Lord, submit to the Holy Spirit, to obey Him, because there are times when He's showing us that something is not for us or that is not the direction to go, and we're hearing, but sometimes we're not listening. So I think the spiritual advice to maintain purity is to submit, to truly submit to the Holy Spirit's guidance in that area of your life, in all areas of your life. But since we're talking about this area, to just submit to His guidance and His direction. Ultimately, when you stay in the Word, when you stay prayed up, when you fast regularly, those things are going to keep you. Jesus is the author and the finisher of our faith and everything in between. So He's able to keep us from falling. That's my testimony. Again, this is not to say that Sister Keisha has been absolutely perfect in all her ways when it comes to purity, because like I said, it goes beyond just an act or the act. But what I can say is when you do slip up, you seek forgiveness and you submit again to the Lord and get back on the right track. So again, these are my few words. I hope that they were helpful. I'll be glad to elaborate with anyone who would like to know more. Have a blessed day.